And I have an exciting guest for us today. Her name is Ausma Fiame. And I'm excited to bring her on to this episode because a lot of what we talk about on the show is, ideas and, what's possible with your career and, all these a lot of personal development type stuff. And one exciting thing that I wanted to bring Ausma on for is to talk about charisma, because what if you are, highly talented, highly motivated, and you've got all these great things that you want to share with people, or you want to be, get more attention in the workplace so that you can stand out, impress your boss and all that. And a lot of that can come down to charisma. And Ausma is a model. She's been doing modeling for many, many years, an actress. And, she moved out to the United States from Lithuania with a dream and her skills and talents. And Ausma, how are you doing today?
I am grateful. I'm grateful to be here with you doing this podcast. That's my first podcast in United States in 2021.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I totally appreciate you being on. And can you share a little bit about, your experience with modeling and, becoming an actress and, taking that journey?
I can share how it started. When I was little, I always were drawn into art, into acting, painting. As soon as I started reading, I learned reading. I read drama books, scripts, and I played out. In school, I always was excited when there's some kind of play going on, or for some occasions we have to rehearse and do and perform. I find myself enjoying that a lot. And I didn't know anything about Hollywood or fame or whatever it comes with it. I just loved it. So I think I was born with it. It just comes from my heart.
Yeah.
No matter what, I'm gonna still keep doing it because it just lights me up. And modeling came later when I grew up, and maybe was 18 years old, and I went to modeling school and learned a lot of good stuff that I thought maybe I will use it, maybe I will not, but it's good for me to know. So here you go. After many, many years, I'm teaching other people that. So
Wonderful.
My acting, I went to acting theater school. So because I was drawn into acting, so I went to theater school. We learned drama and pantomime with the great Lithuanian actors. And when I graduated theater, I stayed in the theater to play, to perform. And I had the opportunity to go to China, perform. And since I was a gymnastic and martial arts background, had that, we perform our dances acrobatically, like we choreograph our dances and perform that. So
Yeah, awesome. By the way, I have to say that is such an amazing outfit with the backdrop, because it almost looks like, the flowers are like, falling around you. So thanks for taking that effort to design that. It's very theatrical. I could see this being like the backdrop for a play
it
or
looks like
something.
a Japanese with some special hat, right?
Yeah, very, very artistic. Wonderful. That's great. Hey, okay, so this is just out of curiosity. When we hear about, I guess, theater in like the United States, you get one idea. And then when you hear about theater in places like Russia, you think about, the Stanislavski and, all those, and Chekhov and, all those theatrical performances and some great plays that came out of there. What's it like in Russia, or sorry, Lithuania? What's the theater culture like there?
It was was not as huge, but it was very condensed because Lithuania is very small. It's not like Russia, with those great, but there's like great people who were very famous, very left a very great imprint in film and theater and acting world. Those great people. I would not probably name you all now right now, but there were, still
Yeah.
is. I'm just trying to.
So it's a smaller community in terms of theater and everything.
Well, because it's small Lithuania.
Yeah. Is there a lot of a lot of support for the theater community in Lithuania?
There are big theaters in Lithuania, some in capital, some in other cities. Where I live in Kaunas, smaller city, but one of three bigger cities. They're Vilnius, capital, Kaunas, and Klaipėda. So there are small theaters, but also there's the bigger theaters, and I think, like we say, starving artist. It's sad to say it, but theaters were like more probably on and off.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
sometimes more supportive, sometimes not by people, and I always like to go to theaters. I always enjoyed it. It's especially in capital, the opera, a very great building, very great theater. They perform very nice performances, plays, and they serve, like people come, they are like dressed up, like it's going to theater, not just like a regular movie with popcorn, but it's just some event. It's really different atmosphere. I remember we used to go as a kids in school, and I loved it. Well,
Yeah.
also, there's a very popular puppetry theater. When I was a kid, I always liked to go there with my mom. It's just mesmerizing me.
Really, puppetry.
Puppetry.
So it's not like what type of puppets? Not hand puppets or shadow puppets? Like what?
No, it's kind of on the strings.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, with the four. Okay, very cool. So
sometimes on the hands, depends what play, what show we show, but
yeah.
like it's just a magic for me as a kid. As I remember, it's my favorite thing probably to do. Go to theater,
Yeah.
theater,
Wow, that's so interesting.
go to shooting range.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. Okay, so shooting and puppets, those are some of your interests. There you go, everybody. So, okay, so with that, you've done a lot since then, and you've had the opportunity to do modeling in Southern California, and and take this journey of becoming an actress and do these bookings and do quite a lot of different like shows and things. So, what would you say is something that you could share with someone who's like a professional, and if someone's like a professional and they're just wondering like, what can I do to stand out more? What can I do to have a little bit more charisma, feel more confident in my own skin? Is there any like story that you have of like a moment where you were like, hey, I need to become more confident, or any tips around that?
I would say just be authentic yourself, because if you try to make out of yourself something that you're not, it would show, it would not look natural, and it would not bring confidence in you. And somebody once told me, when you go on a stage, when you need to be relaxed and there's an audience, all the eyes on you, just think that everybody likes you, everybody are your friends, they're here to support you, so they are here for you. So that's kind of like inside of your mind. It helps you to overcome like fears, to be on a stage or go and relax. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can just think that everybody's naked.
Right. Hey, that's a great one. If everyone else is, then it makes you feel comfortable, right? Because just have a good time, right? Who doesn't have a good time when around that? But okay, so I really appreciated what you said in this idea of of course, the whole naked thing, but also this idea that having people around you who, believing that they're there to support you. And on one hand, like if you're in a theater, right, people are there to see you, to be happy, to laugh or cry or whatever. And also at the same time, if you're in like a meeting or something, or if you're working with different types of people, and you have to be able to have charisma in a room, one of the first things that you can do is to go in with the perspective that these people like you, not that they're your enemies. I think people can definitely do that sometimes, is
Yeah.
they come up with this idea in their head and they're like, these people don't like me. I don't even know what I'm doing, like bad things like that. So thanks for sharing that positive switch.
Yes. And also just go there. Either you go in for interview in a room, or go on a stage, or go on a runway. Just go without expectations, especially when you go in a room with meeting people, like interview or audition or something. Go without expectations. Go have fun for you. Be authentic you. Just give all what you have, and have fun what you do without waiting for them to accept you or not, without expectations. Like, I'm here no matter what. I know you like me, even it doesn't matter. Don't analyze what you're gonna, how we're gonna project it, but think that they like you, and I'm not expecting anything. I'm just gonna do my best, whatever I'm doing, and just gonna leave it at that. For auditions, it's actually very helpful.
Yeah, to go in with the attitude that they're gonna love me. That's great. And I really appreciate that, because it's this idea of, having that, like, not any expectations, but like also to have that vibe already. I guess that vibration is such a great start for anybody. So with that, now when you mentioned like how you moved out here, and how you ended up getting involved in like modeling and everything, can you tell us a little bit about like maybe some of the challenges that you overcame, and like what you did to feel more comfortable, like a specific story?
To transition from Lithuania to US, it was a lot of challenges and cultural shock. So I have to learn English. I have to understand society and humor. I went to study improv in the second city in Chicago. So it helped me a lot to understand the humor and come up with a comeback.
Yeah.
It helped me with English too. And a lot of challenges by expressing myself the way I wanted to express in my language, expressing in English, to be understood and heard, and just to sound understandable, sound like, okay, we understand you, or or when I have sometimes missing words, like when I don't know how to express myself, sometimes I shut myself down. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna talk. That challenge, I noticed, like, if I'm not talking what I thinking, somebody else say, and I'm like, oh, I just actually was thinking that. So I'm kind of learning to go out of this, no matter how it will sound. But if it's whatever I say, if somebody understood, they will understand. So whatever you think, just say it. Don't hold it back. That's what I think. No matter, okay, your English is not first language. You know other languages. So how many languages do you know?
Yeah.
I suggest not to judge anybody, because you don't know, their story, life story, and not even if you don't know the life story, in general, to judge somebody is, who are you? Let a judge to do their job, not judge, right?
Right.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
just say it. Just whatever that challenge is. Just say it. For me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's really an interesting lesson that you shared there because, it does come when you mentioned this idea of having no expectations, when you go into a meeting and everything. And that can be difficult, like really difficult for some people. And it sounds like you went through that challenge. And, I'm glad you brought up the concept of improv because that is one of those things that I think is so helpful to be able to feel confident not knowing everything that you're going to say and plan. So this is so great that you're touching on that. And can you give an example, like, just in terms of improv, you know and this is, since you brought up the topic of like language and everything, how does improv ultimately help you, I guess, improve your language? I mean, does it make you feel more comfortable just saying anything, or is it the humor element of it, or what about improv was so valuable to you?
Oh, wow. That was actually good moments and not so good moments. Where you want me to start?
Let's start with the not so good moments.
Yeah.
See what
So,
those are.
okay. When I was doing improv learning, and after our classes, after like 8 weeks finished, we perform live to public, to audience. So I've learned that people see me and tell me that I'm funny. That's okay. And then maybe I'm thinking, okay, maybe the way that I'm putting sentences together, words, maybe using words, maybe some of them not very incorrect way. So maybe that's why it looks funny to them. And after our graduation, we went to celebrate, and we were joking. We all our class group, we went to next door bar, and we were celebrating, and we're enjoying, and we're filming each other, and just joking a lot. And after that, I didn't think at that time that I was teased, but later, when I looked again and I was talking to my other friend, I said, wait a minute, were they teasing me, or were they just joking with me, or were they joking um, against me? So
Wow.
that was like, huh, I don't like that. I felt like, didn't feel good. But at that time, I thought everything is funny, right? So, fun. But it's okay. I kind of distanced myself from people that I felt uncomfortable like that they take, jokes because of my expression or whatever. So that was a not very good experience. Good experience were like when I was on the stage, and when I feel like when I say something, or even after classes, when I say and when I listen jokes, when I have to come back with some, not just joke, like a clown joke, but also has to be meaningful, has to touch people's hearts, has to make sense. And even sometimes not very funny, but if it touches you, even you can cry, but if it touches you, you're doing your job. You're doing, what you learn. So that makes, when I see that reaction, it makes me feel good. Also, for myself, I feel like after one class or after a performance, my brain is like double wired. It's just like, like, it's like
Yeah.
working. The brain's just double wired. Feels like it's just
Right. It's wild. It's just like, oh, what am I
because
doing? Like,
it's like
talk about this, talk about that, jokes.
understanding English, translating, and coming up with the feedback and translating feedback in English and putting words together
Whew.
and saying it.
Yeah.
And not being, like, oh, they're gonna judge me now. Just let it out. And on the stage I'm good, but see, when I notice people, my classmates, um making jokes and didn't feel good, like, what? Like, yeah, something is not right. I don't
Yeah.
want to be around them anymore. So
Yeah, and you picked that up, and you figured out how to handle that. But it's so great that you were able to get. I mean, it's not great that you had that experience, that negative experience, but this idea of it almost sounds like it made you, I guess, want to I guess do better in comedy, or like, do feel more comfortable in improv, I guess. I mean, that's
Yes,
what it seems like.
that's
But
true. It's okay, and I'm not because of them, but because okay, I need to learn more and maybe be more understanding, pronounce more words understandable way. But at the same time, I was like, okay, if they don't want to understand, they will not understand. Somebody who wants to understand, they will understand. Same as the accent. Some people, they hear accent. Well, now it's not as much, but in the beginning, when I was just was fresh, I noticed that some people when they noticed accent, they kind of double ask. But sometimes you understand if they're really genuine. You can feel it. Your energy cannot lie. But sometimes we feel like we're just doing it on purpose. So sometimes makes me these situations, I'm like, well, you don't understand me, it's your choice. I cannot do anything right now about it. So I just say am as I am, and that that will change in the future. But then
yeah.
we'll see what I'm gonna do, how we're gonna talk later.
Yeah. What is Yamazayam?
What?
You said you said Yamazayam. It's just Yamazayam. I can't remember.
I am as I am.
Oh, I am as I am. Okay. I am as
See?
I am. Ah, great.
See?
Okay. I mean, that was just like, the internet,
No,
whatever,
yeah,
but
I am as I am.
I am as I. Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
thought it was maybe like a spiritual, like,
No, no,
saying or
no, no.
something.
But
Okay.
also, I am as I am, but I know that growth, everybody can grow and everybody should grow, and the sky is the limit of growing. So from that point, I probably, you know, improve my language better. I cannot see myself, like I cannot compare my language to myself, but it's been a while, so I'm sure I know a little bit more English. But that doesn't
Yeah.
stop me of doing what I love to do, and teach what I have to show people, my gifts and my whatever I learn. If anyone who actually open to hear and understand and listen and learn, I always share information.
Yeah, great. And one other thing that you also mentioned that, like, I just feel is so important is like this idea of, you mentioned the bad times and the good times, and how when you are on stage in the good times, it's about making the people laugh, and I think that comes, or making them happy or cry or whatever, that comes from that that charisma element in, being about the other person that is there. you know of course you want to be able to have a good entry into the room, but also realize that, you're, unless like you're the top person executive at a company, you're just walking around, but like in general, it's important to, when you're doing presentations or like at work or something, that most people just want what they want. They want to laugh, they want to cry, they want to see you make them laugh or cry, or get interested in an idea. So many great things that you're touching on there. And also, okay, so just to get an idea, I mean, what would be like a typical piece of, what would be a typical area that you work on with people when it comes to helping them do charisma? I mean, when I think of modeling, I think of, people walking down a hallway and they've got to like balance books on their head, or, they're learning like a catwalk or something. What are some areas that you teach?
Yes, I focused on runway model walking, catwalk, gliding with books or not books.
Yeah.
I'm teaching that. Also, not just only that for models. I'm teaching for little kids to grown up, adults, any any walk of life, any person, any people, no matter what profession they are, no matter how old or big or skinny, doesn't matter. We all want to have a charisma and have a nice posture, right? So I
Yeah.
teach a nice posture. I'm not a doctor. I want to say that. I'm not claiming I'm a doctor, but whatever I learn, I teach others. So, and keep learning, constantly keep learning. And I teach runway, proper posture, how to walk properly, especially on the heels. And I'm kind of happy and proud when I see changes in my students and clients, and if they give a good feedback, it's great to hear. It means I make changes and I can see changes.
Yeah.
And not just because of physicality, not I'm teaching not just physicality, but also when I used to teach models, especially, I teach how to be in a waiting room for auditions or booking. It's also matters of your attitude, and be compassionate to others, you know. And the good attitude and arrogance are very thin line between that. So I'm teaching not to be arrogant, but still be humble, but also confident. When you have a compassion to others, you can relate. Like for me, if I listen for my clients what they want and need, I can more bring them what they need and want, and change they need to, in professional way. So
Hmm.
not just physicality, but also mental things. I'm trying to, make them aware of that.
Yeah.
Help
Okay.
them be aware. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, what I'm taking away is it sounds like how compassion and you know, helps to create charisma in a way, like a combination of all of that. And
Yeah, you become likable. If you
yeah.
want to be interesting, you have to be interested.
Yes.
Everybody likes to people talk about them. Maybe not everybody, but maybe majority. Oh, talk about me, me, me.
Yeah.
So you show the interest when you listen to them, when you relate to them, when you show compassion, people connect better. So when you connect better, they like you, they wanna follow you, they want to be with you, they want to learn from you. Depends on what situation. I'm not talking about teaching and student and teacher, but in general, you think that, oh, you're gonna have, some people think that you're gonna be very charismatic when you're gonna go around with raised nose and play cocky, and you're gonna be charismatic. Mm, maybe to some people, but it's gonna be probably people that also it relates to other people, like probably arrogant and not
Right.
very compassionate to other
Yeah. Attracting, the same
things.
sort of people, I guess. Those
Yeah,
are the
you
people that are
surround
gonna.
yourself, if you want to surround yourself with good people, you also have to project goodness and kindness and awareness and compassion, self-awareness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And I think it's so interesting that you brought up this concept of, the physicality and the runway walking aspect. I mean, how important would you say is like, and I've never really taken too much time to like, see how people walk into a room, but how big of a difference would you say is like someone who knows like, and this is like for an everyday setting or like, maybe a professional setting, how obvious would you say it is that someone who knows how to enter a room by learning like walking skills versus, someone who just like, they never taken a walking lesson or runway walking lessons? How different is that?
Well, the difference is, like, imagine if you see the dance performers that never practice, never know how to dance, and then when you see somebody that actually train, practice and dance, what would you like to watch better? Like, which one?
Yeah, good point.
So it's just overall, not just physicality, but it's everything, and the way vibrate your body position expands your I'm not going to go into spirituality, but your chakras, and you kind of vibrate good energy.
Hmm.
Smiling always helps. Not laughing, but smiling genuinely. If
Yeah.
you feel like you cannot smile, better not, because it would show that it's not natural.
Yeah.
So better be just authentic yourself. If you feel calm, be calm. But that, you know, that is the difference. If you see trained dancers and not trained dancers, you will
Yeah.
enjoy probably watching them
It's a huge difference.
dancing, and would be probably funny, but enjoying, like, you see the difference, who's actually trained and know how to in certain ways.
100%. And what would you say are some tips that you have that you can just like share right now of, how to walk into a room and just, not the, nose up type stuff, but how do you walk into a room just like, whoa, hey, that person is charismatic, What are some tips?
I would say just align your body and body language. You know, don't cross, or don't hold it in the pockets. Maybe, I would say, if depends what you're going into a room. I would say, like, if we're talking about meeting some people for interview, right? So you want to present yourself, you want to present like you open your hands down, like you're not like powerless, but like hands down to the sides, your everything aligned, how I teach, like have to be nice posture, nice spine, shoulders back, kind of straight. Tummy is, sucked in. And when you suck in tummy, but also breathe, don't hold your breath. Everything is kind of aligned. When you let your tummy go, everything just slouches. So even just a physical posture like that, and just also mental, I'm gonna say, we're gonna like me, or I'm not coming with expectations, but having yourself like, okay, they're gonna like me, they like me, they're there for me to root, doesn't matter. I'm gonna do, and just go with the love, with good heart, like come from, let's say, come from thought that you want to make their day better. So
Yeah.
think about what you can bring to them. Think about what you can bring to the table for them to have a better day. And it
That's
will come back
wonderful.
to you.
Yeah. Okay. And, just to get an idea of the modeling industry, this is something new to me, and what you're saying, and the idea of, having compassion, going in with this, positive attitude, and, being a good person and all of that. Is the modeling industry, like, what percentage of models, that you've worked with come in with that approach? Like, I think of it as super like competitive, and, everyone's trying to, not beat the other person, but like, it's competitive.
Yes, it's competing everywhere.
Yeah.
Modeling, acting, in the business, and everywhere, right? Everywhere. So when you help somebody else, it will come back to you. I have this psychology in me, that's written in my book. So even if that person will not give you back what you probably would expect, oh, I helped them and then we didn't give anything back, karma will come back to you. Karma doesn't have expiration date, and also you feel better because of this, and people will notice. Let's say you walk and some you walk on a runway, and some your coworker, other model, have a little bit of a difficulty, and instead of helping it, like maybe masking it, improvising a little bit to mask that error, or a little, whatever may happen, instead of pointing out without maybe saying anything, just mask it, just work together, when you help somebody, they all look better, because when you go on a runway, it's a show, it's a teamwork everywhere. It's teamwork. Of course, you worry about your career and working your career, but don't be, angry person towards others. Be kind. So be gentle with others and yourself. So when you extend a hand, helping hand, that would be plus to you than minus. People see that. People talk. So even when you just waiting in a waiting room to go on the stage, or even not for audience, I would say I recommend to just be, kind to everyone, because you don't know who's around you, and maybe they're gonna be your next, opportunity, next boss, or they're gonna give you great opportunity in life to offer you great career or something. You never know. Don't be nice just for those who give you something. Being just nice in general, period. So, and competition is there, but don't compete with others. Compete with yourself. Whatever you were before, try to build better yourself. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you did mention your book. Can you share a little bit about what that's all about?
Oh, in my book?
Yeah.
It's just a saying. It's not an actual book. It's just what's written in my book. It's like a saying. It's
Oh, got it.
it's my
Okay.
philosophy.
Well, it sounds like you got some great ideas that can definitely be very helpful to many people. But it's the book in your mind, the book of how you pursue life, I guess, in a way. Huh? That's cool.
Actually, I was good at writing when I was a child. I was
Yeah.
creating poetry, and maybe one day I will write a book.
Great. Awesome. Well, I would look forward to that. And I'm sure anyone who's gotten so much value out of this will look forward to that. And with that, for anybody who wants to book you for coaching or learn about, runway modeling, or just even having better charisma through compassion and kindness, what's the best way to contact you or reach you?
Social media, my email, social media. So Ausma Fiame on Facebook, on Instagram, my email. So it's not hard to reach these days. It's not hard to find a person, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In particular, you want me to say about how to reach?
Yeah, so everything's going to be included in the description. So the name is spelled Ausma Fiame. That is Ausma Fiame, and everybody, all the information is going to be in the description. So if you need to reach out to her, if you want to learn about modeling, or if you want to get some tips on entering a room and taking feeling more charismatic, and taking your career to the next level, because you've got all the skills and knowledge, and you've got like the connections, but you just need that extra bit to take it to the next level. Give Ausma a call, reach out to her on social media. And Ausma, thank you so much for being on this show.
Thank you. Another thing I want to actually say it's if you want to be charismatic and be noticed, be supportive of others. Human has to help human, especially artists. I always give some, whatever I can, likes on a post, or subscribe to YouTube channel, or give, let's say, feedback or a recommendation for work or some gigs, or somebody posting their new song or something. I always give nice feedback, or like, or share. So I always want to encourage others to do the same. It costs nothing, because you, all right, it's grateful, they say thank you, but just give back. That would be the best thank you, to other artists. It's not just, no, thank you, give me more. No, just thank you. Here, I'll give you two, like share. That would be so great. everybody will be more happier and healthier and more charismatic. Right? I just want people, artists, everyone to encourage to give, like, subscribe. Cost nothing, just 1 minute of your time. So whenever somebody gives you, give back this way. I like that. I want that.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to wrap this up. And thank you so much. That's a very powerful message of, supporting each other and, growing together and, building all of this, whatever it is that everyone wants together. So thank you and have a great day, everybody.